Okay, and here we are.
Yes, Chris.
Yes.
Seeing your bad side.
Seeing your bad side, have you? Okay. No, it was a toucan, Lord.
Oh, toucan?
There he is. Tree chairs.
Yes, they're up there with the toucans.
Yeah, 2 cans, 3 cans, whatever it takes.
Hey!
Hey!
Children of the trees!
Children of the... What is this conspicuous box next to me?
Oh! Well, we have to say thank you to Michael Newton.
Michael Newton. Ringing the bell, dude.
The first one.
First man in the door.
A Roy Orbison Experience Vernon Kelton band t-shirt.
That's right. But... And it's on its way to you shortly. We put in the order. And the mail, I don't know, tomorrow, I guess. I just got mine.
Yeah, we got ours
Where's
today.
mine? Where's mine? I want mine now. I should wear mine. No,
well,
I shouldn't.
Keith will probably wear it.
Yeah, anyway, if you're interested.
Oh, Michael said he can't wait.
Oh,
Well, it's being shipped from New York, so it should get the Boston.
Yeah, it's coming from New York, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think I'd be interested to see how you like it. It's
Yep, we just got ours today.
yeah, we just got ours today, and I don't think we've even taken them out of the bags yet.
We have been so busy, we have not.
We have been busy editing and going nuts. I feel like I mean I gotta make this. This is driving me nuts.
What?
the QR code.
Why is that driving you nuts?
Because I'm seeing it right next to my head, and I don't want to see it there.
Oh, you have stars tonight. Well.
Yeah, we have stars.
Well, Wellington.
Well, the star. I'm going to put it over here, okay? So if anybody's interested, that's where it is. Inconspicuous. Just hold your phone on it, and I don't know if I can stop looking
And
at
buy a T-shirt.
Yeah, if you are so inclined.
That's
So because of Saturday, last Saturday being the, I was going to say the initiation, but the debut of the Roy Orbison Experience in Riverhead at the Suffolk Theater. Last night for Anything Goes Wednesday, I had all the guys in the band on. There's 5 guys in the band, and it's interesting because the song at the beginning, oh, is it still here? This song.
Keith, Chris Chanel likes that song.
Oh, nobody else likes it?
Well, he's the only one that likes it.
Well, anyway, that's me and Keith
I think
Crane
you have to get next to jazz.
about a
like
year
that.
ago. It's kind of Latin-y. It's very,
Yeah.
anyway. That's us just about a year ago. After he did his show, and I asked him if he wanted to do the P's, and I sent him those P's, and that's what I got back.
Right.
And I said, things that make you go, And from there, because if you're doing that to a track that I wrote, you're getting it. I mean,
That
you
was
know.
Keith playing guitar too.
Yeah, yeah. And
Not just Steve played the drum parts, right?
yeah. And I think I had some percussion stuff that I put in there too.
But Keith was known
But Keith
as
did
a
all the
drummer.
music, and yeah, I mean, so I knew that there was a good friendship there, because if you're like-minded musicians, and especially if you're both drummers, if that's your root instrument, and Keith is not only the drummer in Vernon Kelton Band, but he's the drummer in the 1910 Fruit Gum Company.
That's
So
right.
that's kind of cool.
Now, what is their hit song? You know?
Yeah,
Or
I
should
don't.
we ask him when he comes on tonight?
It's is it Simon Says? I'm bubblegum bad.
I will find out.
Oh yeah, Lori will find out.
Yes. Simon Says. Very good.
I told you.
How does that go?
Put your hand on your hip.
Oh,
Simple
yeah.
Simon Says.
And 1, 2, 3, red light.
Mm-hmm.
May I take a giant step?
Oh.
Indian Giver.
Oh right. That's the one that I remember. It was yeah, I remember that too.
How's that go?
It's like oh no, I'm thinking of Cherokee People.
Okay, The Train. Liza. Goody Goody Gumdrops, Bubblegum World, and Reflections from the Looking Glass. Oh, and Yummy, Yummy, Yummy. Yummy, 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 I got love in my tummy and I feel like loving you. I love that song. Bubblegum.
Yeah, a piece of
It's my
bubble
kind
gum.
of band.
You want some
Yes,
bubble
Sue
gum,
said
little
yummy,
girl?
yummy.
You want some bubble gum, little girl?
I like
Come
bubblegum.
on over here, give me some bubble gum.
Lisa, how do you supposed to say Freud? Freud?
What? Freud?
Lisa Freud says, Simon says, Indian giver.
Yeah, he says all that.
Oh, Gil
Hey.
heard Simple Simon yesterday.
You did?
Wow. We're like in synchronicity here because we have
This has got to go.
Keith Crane coming back on the show tonight, and it's not a throwback. Oh, Tim says Hokey Pokey. They did Hokey Pokey?
Well, they did a cover of it. That's not nice. How about when what's his name, Jim Brewer did Brian doing the hokey pokey?
Brian Johnson from AC/DC.
It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. He did that. Does anybody even know what I'm talking about? Jim Brewer, the comedian, makes fun of AC/DC and
He
Brian.
does an imitation. He doesn't make fun.
Oh, okay. Really? Have you seen the routine?
Yes, I have.
Okay. He's having a laugh. And
Well, he did it with Brian on the stage.
when we played BB Kings, we were playing Who Phoned the Law, and he came up and did that bit before we...
Yeah, with Brian up there. Brian Ancliffe.
You know, that's what you look like, right? It was funny. Anyway, it's on the net somewhere. If you look at, what is it?
Good job.
Classic Rock Cares, Jim Brewer, maybe,
Right.
BB King, something like that.
BB King's, yeah.
It's funny.
Nice.
It's funny. We've done some crazy shit. So anyway, so tonight I thought I'd have Keith in. We can talk about drums and we can talk about
Life.
television. Well, talk about life, but I guess we could, but that's not.
You know what? We can talk about anything we want.
That's right. We can talk about drums. And we can talk
if you
about.
two talk about drums.
Well, no, what we can talk about is scoring music to picture. Because Keith did some music for.
You can't say. Wait for Keith. No spilling the peas. Pass the peas.
I'm going to pass the peas. Here they come. Here come the peas. So,
Pass the peas,
anyway.
please.
Up! And just like the drummer he is,
Mm-hmm.
tried to commit suicide and jump behind the train. I should be locked up.
Really should.
Hey!
Hey, man.
Oh, wait a minute, I got to put us in the right view. There you are.
Hey. Oh, wait. I got stuff echoing back on me. Hold on a second. Oh my God.
No, you're good.
Hold on. Am I still echoing? There we go. That's better. You hear me?
Yeah, fine.
No, I had the studio monitors echoing back.
There's no delay, is there?
Now you're messing with me. Because that's exactly what it was sounding like in here.
Yeah. Well, believe me, I've had more than my fun with that.
You just don't talk enough, Steve, man. It's just
That's the problem. That is a problem. You know, you said it today. We might as well just talk on the show. We're on the phone all day long. But and you know what I was gonna do? Because I can show this screen, which is the big screen to my right, and I was gonna put Premiere up with the footage and all that stuff, and all three cameras and all three, yeah, so that you could see what it was like. But I thought my wife and the children in the lawn might have me strung up, so I think I voted against doing that. But
Well, oh, wait, one second. I forgot. I moved my chair out of the way.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, now I gotta put it back. Now you see, now I gotta put it back. Hold on.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay. You got your,
You see?
you got your cell phone?
I do.
Yeah.
Let's see if it works.
Steve was gonna wear his, but he thought you were gonna wear yours.
Well, I have it on the chair.
There you
Can
go.
you?
I decided to give where my
No, the QR code. Can you scan the QR code?
oh, let's see. How do I do that, Steve?
Turn your camera on
Yeah.
Yeah.
and point it at the QR code.
What's supposed to happen? Am I gonna like implode or something?
No, no.
Getting fancy on us, Keith.
Did it do it?
No.
Maybe I need to make it bigger.
I thought it went.
Well, that's just too much information.
Well, it could. Here, try this.
Oh, wait. Oh, there it goes. What happened here? Open steveluongo.com in Safari.
Oh, what?
Oh, okay. Oh shit, man. This is too cool.
All right. We, you know,
And he's got it on the spaceship.
yeah, no, it's in space,
Mm-hmm.
right? How cool is that?
People out there are going, what the hell is wrong with these guys?
Well,
And the answer is, where would you like us to start?
I've been in a life condom for 2 years, man. Over 2 years.
Yeah.
It's been crazy, and I'm driving. So yeah, I thought that was cool.
That is cool. That is cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it go away now because it feels like something's floating next to my head, and I don't like it.
Okay, so now back on planet Earth or whatever we're on.
Meteors.
Yeah, no, I was zooming through space before.
He's
And I-
zooming through space, all right.
Yeah, and I played bad side. I love what we did there.
I love that track.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And
Yeah,
I
we
was-
can
I was
actually do a
looking
proper
for-
mix on that bad boy.
Yeah, we should. I'm happy to send it. I'll send you the stems if you want.
Yeah.
The drums back. You
Can't
have
believe it.
your tracks.
It's over a year ago we did that.
Yeah.
Man.
And the reason that I thought that there was some serendipitous things at play, which is why this is Throwback Thursday. And if this show is about anything, if it's really about anything, it's really about showing people a part of our business that, not that business, a part of our business that they would never get to see. The creative part, you hear about it, maybe you watch a documentary and you can see somebody in a room with a pen for a couple of days, but the process, the real process, of becoming and remaining a musician for your entire life is its whole own. It's got its own laws, it's got its own physics, it's got its own chemistry. I mean, it really does. It really. And so, if anything, and here we are 2 years later, plus, and still doing it. And I think there's still 3 or 4 people out there that no, we have great fans, and it gets better every day. Yeah, that's fun. It's fun.
Dude, just to go back to the Fruit Gum Company for a second. The band did a version of Yummy Yummy Yummy, but that was Ohio Express who had the big version.
Okay.
The way that it worked back in the day, all these acts were under Buddha Records, and what they would do is they would swap out these songs, like Kazanet and Katz, which was the production company that signed the Fruit Gum Company initially, basically gave the band Simon Says and said, you have to do this song. And the band was like more of a psychedelic band, believe it or not. They didn't start out being the bubblegum kings that we have become. And they were given this song, which was like a calypso kind of thing. And according to Frank, our fearless founder, it was awful. They hated it. But the record company said, well, take it into rehearsal, see what you can come up with. And they basically put a Wooly Bully groove to it. And there it is. number one, you know, it was a huge record. And then, but Yummy, 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 and other artists would cover, like 123 Red Light was also covered by Ohio Express, although the Fruit Gum Company had the gold record with it. So the Fruit Gum Company covered Yummy, Yummy, Yummy. And what they do is they take the same backing track, the rhythm track, and they just put different vocals on it.
Well, now,
Wow.
that's interesting. I mean,
Yeah, that's how that was done back then.
wow, I didn't even realize that. Well, I guess because all the versions don't get out there. You know, it's very rare that two versions of a song get out at the same time, except there was that one with Leanne Rimes and
Oh yeah.
Oh, the one from the movie.
The who's married to Mark Brooks?
Leanne Rimes and just Trisha Yearwood.
Yeah, they both had the same song
Yeah.
at the same time.
and like who did it better? Well, you know, wow.
Well, I think Trisha Yearwood won a
Yeah,
Grammy
but
for
I
it.
mean, which version? They were both amazing. They were real close too.
That was a great song. Is a great song.
Let me ask you this. You know, I mean, because when you said that the 1910 Fruit Gum Company was originally a psychedelic band, I mean, I get that all day long from that name. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like when I think of it at its root, you know, oh, we can call ourselves the 1910 Fruit Gum. You know, I mean, like the Jefferson Airplane or whatever. And it
Right.
makes me wonder where the phrase bubblegum came from.
From a song that I believe the drummer wrote, Bubblegum something. I forgot the name of the song. We don't do it, but it was like a deep cut, but that kind of coined the phrase of bubblegum pop. And along with the band and like Ron Dante, remember Ron from the Archies? He became like, and he's out with the Turtles now doing the Happy Together tour. He became kind of the bubblegum king, and we, you know, Prince, and we were kind of, I mean, they were coining all kinds of weird stuff for the band. But yeah, if you listen to anybody that has the single to Simon Says, if you flip it over, the record company allowed them to do occasionally the band's own material. The hit songs were outside writers, but the Reflections Through a Looking Glass was written by the band, and we actually do that.
Wow.
It's
So
sort
that
of
was the B side of which single?
of Simon Says, the first gold record.
Ah.
And
That was you know the deal about that, right? If you got your song on the B side, you made the same royalties as the guy.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why everybody wanted, you know, the B side if they didn't get the A side.
Exactly. So they got the B side, and that was more of that psychedelic-y kind of vibey. And we play it, and it goes over great because it's got a story.
Yeah.
Like here was the beginnings of the band. This, you know, they wanted to be the Vanilla Fudge or the Cream, and so the song that we do, which has got that vibe, kind of introduced the people that only know it from bubblegum pop, you know, Simon Says, 123 Red Light. But they also don't realize, as a backstory, the band had a huge influence on the 70s punk and new wave movement. 123 Red Light was covered by the Talking Heads. Very weird version, but they covered it.
Yeah.
Indian Giver, which is one of my favorite songs to play live because it's got that drum thing, and was covered by Joan Jett and the Ramones.
Wow.
And they talk about it in some of their old interviews, how inspirational the band was to them. And I was like, it's pretty cool, actually.
Well, and you know that we get to that on here all the time, is if you were in the right age group and with the right exposure at the right time, it was the difference between being a Kiss fan or being an, you know, I don't know, an Emerson, Lake and Palmer fan, you know, depending on when you were born and when you came up and what your music experience was. So I get that totally from those people that age. I mean, that makes all the sense in the world.
And if you listen to those songs, especially something like Indian Giver, you know, dun, 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 you know, it's got that eighth note pulse, that, you know, that tom thing. It's new wave, it's punk, but 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, all that eighth note, you know, groove stuff, dun, 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 dun. That's all that is 10 years later. And so I get it.
And I feel like, you know, I wonder what it must be like to have this vision of a career, right? Oh man, we're going to be the Vanilla Fudge, or we're going to be, you know, whatever. And then the corporations manage to stick you with stuff that makes you a lot of money, makes them a lot of money, but it also puts you in a, you know,
A
in
little box
that you're never going to get out of. And if you start playing Hendrix, people are not going to go for it because they, you know, it's really weird. I just all of a sudden got a whole flash when you said that they were a, you know, they were a psychedelic band. You know, the 1910 Fruit Gum Company. Wow, check it out, man. You know what I mean? I can see that so clearly. You know what I mean? It's,
Well, David Cassidy tried to get out of the pop genre.
forget it.
He couldn't.
that's a horrible. Well, listen.
It's interesting because in the beginning they tried to get out of it because they didn't want it. They wanted to be, you know, quote unquote serious rock musicians, right? Whatever that means. But now I find that a lot of the people that we play shows with are now embracing that. Decades and decades later, like we are. You know, all of a sudden, I mean, in the beginning, Frank didn't want to, you know, as the leader of the band. And when the band reformed, they didn't really still embrace it. Like, but now all of a sudden, there's that audience that still is there. So they're embracing it more. But it wasn't like that in the beginning. They were doing it because the record company said, you're going to do this song, you're going to do that song, you're going to love it. You're going to go on the road with the Beach Boys, and that's it. And that's what was happening, you know. It was funny because Frank would say to me when they were on the road supporting Simon Says, and it was like one of the biggest records in the country at the time, they were on the road with Sly and his Family Stone. And Sly was just, you talk about a mixed bag or with the Beach Boys, which I get that. I get that combination.
I get that too.
But Sly was just starting to hit. And sort of during the tour, you can see the hit records, Sly's hit records were starting to come up. And so at one point, the band said, you know, because they were opening up for the Fruit Gum Company.
Of course. I mean, that's the same thing with Roy Orbison and the Beatles, right?
Exactly. But all of a sudden, midway through the tour, you know, the band said, you know, to Sly, you know, maybe we should go on first and you close the show. And that's the way it kind of did this weird spin because records were flying up the charts at that point.
And it's weird that when that kind of thing happens in your career, you know what I mean? Like when in the arc of your career, that kind of thing happens where it's like, okay, well, we're the opening act now.
Yeah. And you're right. It happened with Roy. All of a sudden, the Beatles just became massive.
Right. Like while that whole tour was going on, and they were opening for him.
What year was that, Steve?
I think it had to be 64.
64.
I'll find out.
I think. Yeah, I think it was my data mine.
Laurie, Google Laurie.
Well, I told you, Todd Rundgren called her the data miner. He gave her the nickname because
I like that.
we had a day off. Where were we?
Texas or somewhere like
and
that.
We wanted to go to New Orleans because we wanted to eat good food and, you know, hang out and be...
1963.
Oh, 63.
Yeah.
Okay. So then that means that they were already on the wave, starting the wave in England before it got here, which is interesting. But yeah, we... what happened?
You were seeing Todd
Oh, right.
coined the
Yeah,
phrase that I
yeah.
was the data miner.
Because we couldn't get a flight. We had to get like really specific flights in and out of New
Well, they
Orleans.
had to fly
'Cause
out
we-
of New Orleans to Detroit.
Yeah, because we had to. The next day
The next
was
day.
Detroit, and we.
And Todd tried finding a flight and he couldn't.
Right,
find
he
a flight.
couldn't find a flight, and Lori found the flights, and it was.
I found him going into Flint, Michigan, which is right next to Detroit.
Yeah, so.
So, boom.
So now she's the data miner. And that was some trip, man. It was Todd and Ann Wilson,
Oh God.
David
John
Pack.
Entwistle, and David Pack, and me.
I love that story that you tell about John trying to do Beatles playing like McCartney. When that story you was talking about, you said something like, if I knew I had to play like McCartney, I wouldn't have done it, or something like that. Was that the story?
No. He talked about having to play whatever it was more time, and it was actually from the Ringo tour that he saw.
Oh, okay. That's right. I got it mixed up.
He's now played Yellow Submarine more times than Paul McCartney or something. So
With that heavy distortion?
I don't think so. Ringo used to call him Mr. Loud, and Ringo bought him a watch. He bought him a Raymond Weil, and it said, "To Mr. Loud, with love, Ringo," and on a star engraved in the back of it.
What a rhythm section. Him and Ringo. Can you think? And was that when Greg Bissonette was still playing with the?
I think Zach was out. Zach
was on it.
Yeah, Zach was the other drummer.
When we saw him, who was playing?
I
Zach?
think it was Zach. Yeah, I don't think it was Greg Bissonette.
No, I don't think it
It
was.
was Zach.
Wow.
And it was like
Yeah, it was.
that tour. Ringo designed a MasterCard, and they
Put his art on one.
put his art on a MasterCard, and I don't know if you remember that when the.
It looked like a fifth.
It looked like a smiling face. It looked like it was a circle and another circle and a smile, and inside of each circle there was a dot, and all of it was different colors, like a blue pupil and a yellow circle and a red circle with a green
I
pupil.
think I vaguely remember that.
Okay, well, they probably sold it for like $1 million because it was him, it was Ringo, Jackie Joyner Kersey, and Jane Seymour were the three artists that did it. Jane Seymour did this country floral thing, and I don't remember what Jackie's was, but Ringo's was gray with these. It was bizarre, and they released. I don't know if they were showing them or what it was, but we had to go to the Guggenheim and look at these things and all the people. It was nuts, just
And
nuts.
John was over it.
Yeah, John said, "Oh."
So he lit a cigarette in the Guggenheim.
Yeah, he wanted to get thrown out because he didn't want to stay anymore.
Yeah.
And we got thrown out at the same time Ringo and Barbara were leaving, and so we're in the elevator with them, and hi. It was bizarre.
That sounds bizarre.
It was so bizarre. It was like, I've done some weird shit, but that was weird. The Guggenheim.
Yeah.
Lighting up a cigarette at the Guggenheim.
Yeah.
In the Guggenheim with
In
all
the-
the art.
In the Guggenheim, right there, in the main gallery, right there, by
Well,
where
we were
by where the
hungry.
food comes out
Yeah,
of the kitchen.
they were like walking hors d'oeuvres.
And Suzanne and Lori are there, and the guy
Suzanne
comes
was a
out with
friend
the
of
trays, and she's bringing them out at regular level. So Suzanne would grab a shrimp, and Lori would grab a shrimp, John would grab a shrimp. By the time the guy gets to the middle of the room, it's half his food's gone, right? So they start coming out with them up like this, and they're doing it. Okay, guys, you know what? I'm 6'3", I can get those. And so then we were once we had eaten enough shrimp and whatever the other walking hors d'oeuvres were, that's when John said, I want to leave. I said, oh, well, you can't just leave. Oh, really?
And he lit a cigarette.
Lit up a cigarette and they said, excuse me, sir, you have to smoke outside.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh, I really wanted to look at that funny face MasterCard, but I'll go. I'll leave.
Well, because he was not the center of attention.
No, how dare they?
Ringo was.
Ringo.
Oh.
Ringo, well,
I guess
Yes,
John didn't like that so much.
it's poor John. You know, I got the I got this whole plan. I mean, I can't say anything. Oh, would you check and see if the website is working?
What website?
You know, the one that we were working on today.
Sure.
Don't say.
Okay. Well, I thought that's what that QR code was for.
No, that's for the T-shirts. No, this is for that. Not yet.
Oh, I spelled it wrong. The date
Oh,
of
and Michael Newton, your shirt will go out tomorrow. I
Here you
promise.
go, Michael Newton. You heard it right from the direct from the source.
Yes.
Okay.
We already thanked him for buying the first
Yeah,
one.
we did.
Thank you.
We gave him props.
Yeah. Yeah, it's working.
No, that's mine.
I don't know which
The one that is related to the music that we're about to release. The one we were working. No, not that one.
They said 24 to 48 hours.
Just please.
Okay, I'll
They
look.
said it in it with a.
Don't you do it.
I didn't do it. I did not do it. Tech support, you know.
No. It's
No?
going to Pure Host.
Going to Pure Host. All
Site
right.
is temporarily unavailable.
Okay, it's
You have to wait
propagating.
till 24 to 48 hours, mister.
All right, lady. Thanks. So let's
So
see.
the Leanne Rimes song was "How Do I Live Without You."
Yeah.
That's it. Yes.
Well, thanks for straightening that out for us there.
I had looked, but
Blind
y'all were
data.
deep into talking. We were now. Steve was gonna tell about what you do, putting music to film for
Yeah, that little TV show
that
you
little
did.
TV show you did.
Yeah. Well, I was one of the composers on a little HBO ditty called "Sex in the City." I had a few things on there, so it was kind of cool. And it's it's a gift that keeps on giving. It's
Yeah.
Hey, man. Are you every quarter or?
every quarter. Yeah, ASCAP is every quarter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it got syndicated. So once it got syndicated, it comes in. Not we don't get rich from it, but it's nice. It's or I should say, virtual mailbox money now.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like direct deposit. It's
Yep.
bing, you get an
Yep.
email.
Yeah, so it's great. I'm proud of that. It was a fun show. It was a very freeing show to work on because Dan Lieberstein, he's an old hippie who's actually a drummer also, but he was the guy that was responsible for the whole musical landscape of that show.
Really?
And when my agent at the time got me that gig, they had different composers for different like genres of music. Even though I'm sure we could all do he heard my reel and said, well, okay, he does that kind of thing. It's funny because Senior Bad Side, you had a little bit of a Latin-y flamenco thing, and I have some of that in my reel. There's always a little bit of Latin vibe happening. And I guess maybe in another life I was Latino. I don't know, but and I just always gravitate towards that kind of. It's really happy music. It's really uplifting, and he wanted that eclectic mix to poppy, Latin, jazzy, and it matched the thematic of the show, especially the opening theme, which was written by I forgot the name, Doug something or other, and my stuff matched that without even trying. So that's how I got that gig. And he basically would just say to me, once in a while I would get a picture, sometimes it would be a storyboard, but he would just say, write me something that's hip with a groove in it. It sounds like advertising lingo,
Yeah.
And he'd say, okay, the girls they're walking down Fifth Avenue and they're window shopping and they're talking about their night before thing and it's dusk or something. And he would give me kind of vague, specific and vague stuff at the same time. And I would just go and he's the only real qualifications or specifics was it had to be 1:40.
Oh, wow.
That was the cue length. And they could use anything from 20 seconds of it, the whole thing, or use pieces of it throughout,
Mm-hmm.
Grab little chunks. And when I write, it wouldn't be just a groove thing. It would be actually a real cue in the sense that it would go through different sections and mood changes. So it would almost be a different piece of music every time they grab something. Yeah, that was a fun gig. I wish it lasted. I mean, I was only brought in on the last season, which a lot of people said was I'm not saying because of me, but because it was the sixth season. They were wrapping up the storyline, which was kind of cool,
Yeah.
And I was I was sworn to secrecy. I couldn't talk about the show. I knew how it was going to end, and I couldn't say, you get it,
Yeah, because I was going to say, did you have to do sub mixes, or were you just turning in a 2-track, stereo mix?
They just wanted 2-track stereo, the 2-bus.
Because what we do, and it's funny that you said the description, because I got the same kind of description. It's people who are tired and hot, people who are hungry, tired, and hot,
Mm-hmm.
people who are walking, hungry, tired, and hot.
And naked.
Right, and naked.
And afraid.
But but on the other one, on the big one that I did for CBS, I was sworn to see. There's a $50 million bond because it was a contest.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew because I did what they asked. They asked for the ethnic uplift for each country that the show visited, and it was 13 countries, and so. Italy, I did a little Godfather type of thing, and in Switzerland, I did some horns and God knows what else. But it was fun. I mean, Thailand, I went to the
We had to
Asian
do
stuff.
homework and listen to.
Oh yeah, I had to.
Music
I
of
mean,
the
I'm thinking to
country.
myself, what kind of music do they listen to in Estonia? And I'd go out and look and search Estonian folk songs, and it worked out.
That's the great thing about what we do in that world is we get to go places. It sounds like Star Trek that no man has gone before, it's yeah, exactly. It's so cool because I remember I might have told you this last year on the first show we did together. My first jingle was a radio spot for Puerto Rico. And I'm this Jewish kid from New York City suburbs. What do I know about this? But,
Well, now give it some thought. You could know quite a bit, but go ahead.
Exactly. I said, if you dare me to do something, watch out. Don't ever dare me because I'm going to go for it. So I got the call, and they had a couple of products that they wanted me to do. We landed up just releasing one, but they wanted a straightforward, I got to send it to you one of these days, a straightforward salsa. I'm like, and it was like early on, and it was my first fairly big budget. And I'm like, I'm not showing that I'm nervous, but I'm nervous. I'm like, this deadline for advertising is always real. Like TV, there's heavy duty deadlines. They want it yesterday. So I remember, I'm like, how do I even start this? So I spent all week long watching Telemundo. I swear to God.
I believe you. I totally believe you. I mean, and aren't you lucky you have that resource, man? Because it's authentic, and it's what will resonate and that's great. That's a great.
And then I went out and bought. Back then it was cassettes. Oscar de Leon. Some of the salsa kings, and I just woodshed it and I just absorbed it. It's all I was listening to, and then I went down to my studio and I just jumped in and it just started happening. And I was up against, when you're doing advertising, same thing with film scoring. You're always competing with it until you get the gig. Your reel is always competing against another reel. And in this case, there was 2 or 3 other music houses demoing for the same spot. And I thank God I didn't know it because I probably would have been freaking a little bit, but I did my thing and I went to the meeting at the client and they played it and they said, well, it sounds as good, if not better than what we got from, and the other jingle houses I found out after the fact were solely Latino jingle houses. They were the ones that did all the advertising for Telemundo. So I had no idea. I was just winging it. So I did the demo. I had hired a friend of mine who was Latino, and I wrote the copy. Most of the time they will give you the copy, but in this case they gave me some voiceover copy, and they said write lyrics based on this. So I wrote lyrics out, and the body and the tag, and I had in English, and I wrote the melody, and then I had this woman who sang on it phonetically translated into Puerto Rican dialect Spanish. It had to be specific. Couldn't be Cuban. It couldn't be South American. You know, it had to be that specific because that was the market. And so she phonetically, you know, or not, no, she translated into Spanish. And then I went and redid it and phonetically made the words along with the melody. It was like two extra processes that I had to do that ordinarily somebody that spoke the language wouldn't have had to do. And so I did that, and I submitted it, and it went final, and the rest is history. So there's
nothing wrong with that. Now you see, I did some industrials and 401k things and stuff like that. I did do you remember Starter, the sports brand? I did a Starter commercial, and so Mark, the guitar player, had heard that I was doing this kind of stuff, and he said, well, I have an idea for one, and I have a friend that works at BBDO, right? BBDO, I mean, that's as big as it gets, right?
One of the
And I
big.
said, okay, what's your
Why don't you
idea?
tell the viewers what that is?
Oh, it's one of the biggest advertising agencies in Manhattan, if not the biggest advertising. And they're the ones that did, I think it was either Pizza Hut, whoever came out with the stuffed crust pizza.
Yeah, it was Pizza Hut.
And Mark and I wrote Another One Bites the Crust.
You get what?
Another one.
Another One Bites the Crust, right? And there was crunching. Another one bites the crust. Another one bites the crust. And another one's gone. And another one's gone.
Another one bites the crust.
And we were sure that we were like, that was it. We were going to, how many floors of the Empire State Building do you want to buy? And it was
Oh, wow. Laurie Richardson worked for that agency.
For BBDO?
Whoa.
You didn't happen to hear that reel, did you? Yeah, they're still laughing at it.
Hey, I thought it was catchy and
It was good. It was great. And we looked up, and it was the bass player that wrote that.
Yeah, Deacon.
Deacon John, or
Yeah.
Was it Deacon?
John Deacon.
The only band that every single member was hit songwriters in Queen.
Yeah, that's true.
What's his name? Roger Taylor wrote Radio Gaga.
Right.
John Deacon. Yep.
Yeah.
John Deacon.
It's nuts. And that's all about, that's down to the freedom. That's why I think the P's, passing the P's is so much fun, because when somebody gets it, like I was listening to that track back, and how we got wherever we got, it was just so organic, and it's because I don't usually play in that halftime, that's not me to lay back like that and do all those fills. And when I heard, it was just great. When I heard it coming back with your stuff on it, it was like,
well, it's funny because when you said, and it's so interesting, people they do know that we're both drummers and multi-instrumentalists, but I had never gotten a drum track. I mean, we do our own drum tracks, right? I never got a drum track, especially like that. I'm like, wow, this is super cool because I get to do stuff I would have never done. So your track coming at me was like, oh man, I don't have to worry about that. That shit's happening, I just got to play guitar and keyboards and bass, and I didn't have to worry about it. It was awesome. I had and the other two tracks we did, I forgot we got other two.
We did Chasing the Rabbit and
Atmos 92 or
Atmos 91 or Atmos 92. Yeah, that was really cool.
That was the first one we did.
That is the first one we did. But this one, because it's got such a Latin thing to it, I wonder if I can get it to come up. Hold on. Let me see. I'll try. Oh,
Now, if he does get it to come up, this is Keith playing guitar, bass, keyboard.
Yeah. And a little overdubbed drum fills.
Ah,
Gaddish kind of, my dad's gad.
love the roads in there.
Yeah.
Steve Campo says hello, Steve.
Hey, how are you doing? We're just passing the peas.
Passing some peas.
Good.
You know, what's that?
Yeah, do more of that.
Yeah, we should do more of that. Well, I mean, you know, there's
Well, we've had a couple of things on our plate, just a couple of things besides the peas.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, no kidding. And but I got to tell you, Victor hooked me up with the little algorithm or whatever it was there. I almost have the whole second half all lined up.
Awesome.
And I was going to cut something out of it tonight, but to play, I was going to put it up and, you know, like let you see or let the fans see how it works, you know, with the three different cameras and cutting in and out. But it would have wound up being a mess.
Well, you had something you were going to play anyway, though, right?
What was I going to? Well, I could play the. Did you see the thing that I played last night? The cut from I think it was was it?
Was it Dream Baby or was it Ooby Dooby?
I
Or
think it was Dream Baby.
yeah, I think
I'll play it. I'll play it.
yeah.
Let's see. Was it this? It was.
Okay, this is
Mm,
Burning
In
Monkey Band.
1980, Don McLean
No, wrong.
recorded Chronic. He also performed Pretty.
Yeah, Dream Baby. All right, I'll get out.
Sweet dreams, baby. Sweet dreams.
Yes, indeed. That's how you do that
Pretty good band, I think. That's a pretty good band.
for
Yeah.
opening night.
Yeah, you know, those guys are so good.
Yeah, well,
Drummer,
no,
yeah, you know, he's
no one would ever know it was you.
Well, your
From
number
the camera
one,
angles.
Your number one fan, Carrie Ash, is in here, and she says perfection.
Yeah, you see? She said that. Oh, did she watch Friends tonight?
Did Carrie?
Carrie, yeah.
I don't know why.
Because that's what Chandler said about the gun.
Oh. I
Did
don't
you,
know.
Carrie Ash? Did you
see
watch Friends tonight?
today?
No, that's my cousin.
Who?
Yes, Keith.
Friends. My
cousin.
cousin.
Oh, right. Yeah,
That's one of
yeah,
the-
right. The David Crane and, yeah,
The creator of Friends.
Cousin David.
Cousin
Cousin
David.
David.
David Crane and Friends.
There you go, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, he didn't do a lot of press when Marta Kaufman was doing all the stuff. And
Yeah.
he never went out and did anything, David Crane.
No, you don't see him much, but when I do see him, I see the Crane forehead.
That's the Crane brain expanding. Is
that's
what
right.
It is.
No, that's a fun band. I got to tell you, just watching it, stepping back and looking at it, just sort of as a viewer.
Yeah, but think about this, man. Think about this because it's amazing to me. We did Senior Bad Side was the second one that we did. We did Atmos 91 or Atmos 92, whatever that was, first. And that stuff was written before we ever even talked about Roy.
That's right. Exactly. That was within like the first few weeks that we got to know each other. Like immediately within like a day, you sent me your first drum track. And it was like that was that new. And I'm like, well, I don't, as they say, the Rascals saying, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way.
That's right. That's right. I don't know. Yeah. I'm on my way.
That's right.
Or in Fire Sign Theater, you never know where you're going until you get there.
Exactly.
So, yeah, no, it was, and
Yeah, our brother, we have a good, it's a great journey, man, so far.
and amazing. I can't even really qualify it yet because it's still in such an embryonic stage. I mean, all the things that we've talked about, all the new features to add into the live documentary and all the other things that we've been talking about, it's like, these are the kind of conversations that John and I used to have about what we would do. We would do this, we would do that, we could do this, we could do that, just because we could, and
Because we could.
yeah, because we can, and when that whole thing went down, that whole part of all that brainstorming and all that, up till whatever. Just brainstorming, coming up with new ideas or funny shit or whatever it was. It was just such a creative and rich time. And then it, whoa.
Yeah.
And then, slowly it comes back. And, you wonder if you're ever going to have that with somebody again. You know what I mean? And so, from that standpoint.
Universe is a great place. What it feels like to me as you're talking about it, it feels like we've started this new. You've been brainstorming this thing with Doc for years, but you and I doing it and actually having it come to fruition. It feels like, to me, it's really joyous. I haven't had this feeling about a project. I love the guys in the Fruit Gum Company, all my other stuff. All the other projects. I embrace and I love. But this feels like what it felt like when I first picked up a pair of drumsticks when I was a kid, like you. And it was like, it's all about the music. Look, of course, we got to make money. And, this is what we do, this is how we pay our bills, how we take care of our family. That being aside, this has got the initial love of music all over it for me. And I didn't know much about Roy until you brought me into that. We knew the hits and all that stuff and the Wilburys, but I didn't know the backstory and all these deep cuts that we do. And it's incredibly exciting. And I don't just say that, flippantly.
No, I get it, and believe me, when I first was conceiving this, you can only brainstorm something so far, and I'm figuring, well, I'm not going to play in it. Goes back to when we were still in New York. I'm not going to play in it, but maybe you could maybe get another guitar player, or maybe you just go up and do acoustic versions. But instead of, hey, how y'all, you tell facts about it, right? So Bruce, being the ultimate student of all things, I start getting reams of information about Roy and what's a guy, A Cuff, and of course, Elvis and this one and that one. And I mean, I never knew that Roy hung out with Elvis. I mean, that didn't even occur to me, or that Elvis called Roy the greatest singer in the world. It's just so when Bruce started feeding me all this stuff back, like, what should I say? Well, you should not be an encyclopedia because people will go to sleep. But then I realized that if I could really put it together with a real band, and we got close once or twice, but if I could really put it together with rehearsals and now, however many years later, the technology, I mean, I've got an editing bay right over here, so it's like can make all the videos we want, and I like doing it, and it just seemed to make sense to me because I haven't really thought about playing a gig. I played the one gig with Rat Race or the two gigs in 2017. Then I played the gig with Randy Jackson and Larry. God,
September of 2019.
September, yeah, 2019, and everything else I've done has been in the cocoon.
Here, you came up here to play it with
I came up there, yeah, Long Island to Mulcahy's.
okay.
Yeah, 2 nights, and it was, yeah, it was.
Well, he played with Randy down here.
Yeah,
Myers.
Randy, we played down here, 2 shows down here, and they were the last 2 shows that I did in the world before, the whole thing shut down.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to me, and I'll wrap it up with this. You can I talk about it all the time on the show, chemistry and the the serendipitous nature of our business. There are no accidents, coincidences, or God's way of remaining anonymous. But when something happens, like the night, you would think, oh well, you played with John Entwistle, that wasn't hard to figure out. But the night that I played with him, it wasn't that it was John Entwistle, it was the connection. You know what I mean? It was that thing. And when you and I started writing that music, and just the conversations and the things that we did and the things that we talked about, I knew that this was the project, that had been sleeping in the back of my head was going to come out, because we were doing it together, and it's it's working out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going pretty good, I think. I think we've done pretty good. I'm super proud of it.
And what a great
Yeah.
feeling to get the joy that you had when you first started playing
Yeah,
music.
man.
That is totally what I feel doing this gig is that because everybody is on the same page. I see it with you. I see how joyful it is for you, even though we've gone through some stressful times, as we know, in the past couple of weeks, and some little bumps in the road. Nothing to write home about, but we had some moments, having nothing to do with us, just outside.
No. But if you think about some of those bumps in the road, we got a great secret logo out of it.
Yeah, we did. Your beanie, you gotta.
And when you told me that Chris Clark said, "What was that?"
It flew by so quick because him and dogs and puppies, right?
Yep.
Oh shit! Yeah, that made me laugh.
It was like that
What's
quizzically looking, Chris.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh god, that's
Oh,
funny, man. What?
They want you to explain that one.
Oh, you want me to explain that one?
Okay.
Oh shit. Okay, I'll explain that one. I would have to show. Well,
It would be
I would have to. Where will
one
I
of the
find
dogs that we had.
it?
Beanie.
No, I'll find it. I'll find it.
We put a bag on his head.
Well, okay. We had.
And cut
No,
out
I'll
eyes,
tell. Hang on.
Put a place for his nose, like the unknown comic.
Let me find it. Let me
It's a
find it.
picture.
Here it is. Boom.
And Steve used
Okay.
this on the Vernon Kelton credit reel.
Okay. Now, here it is.
There he is. There's Beanie. With the
Now-
glasses. There we go.
What it is we
That's
had
Beanie.
we had a
Big
musician.
bag.
We had a musician for a time in the band that didn't work out. And he was very upset that we spent a ton of money and that his face and his parts were appearing in our sizzle reel. So through the wonder of digital magic, I was able to
Put the unknown comic
put
dog
the unknown comic dog over his face.
and have him.
And that's
on
what was
stage.
there when I first sent the reel to our agent. That was the keyboard player. And he said, well, aren't people going to wonder where the dog is? And so it became the running joke. And that's Beanie, the other Catahoula with the
Yeah.
blue eye on the other side.
Now Beanie has the Roy glasses on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
he's got the
He,
Roy
no, in
glasses
the
on?
logo he does. Yes,
I didn't know
picked
that.
the yeah.
Oh, and Chris recognized that it was a
Oh,
dog
wait a
just
minute,
from
wait
the
a minute.
snout.
I gotta find that now. I
He
gotta find that.
saw the nose and he would immediately go, "What's that?"
Chris would
That's
be Chris
funny.
Clark, the keyboard player, who loves and he's obsessed
Yeah,
with puppies
he's
and dogs.
certainly is a dog guy.
Yeah.
Man, all right, come on, BKB. I'm looking.
He had the Roy glasses.
Yeah, I put the sunglasses on him. It was it's hysterical. But anyway, so there you go. So
that's the
that's
secret
that's
logo.
what it is, Jill. That's the secret logo. And so when you see the secret logo, this is the high sign. Because he had one ear up and one ear down. So when you see it, that's it. And man,
You had it following his head in the video.
I got to tell you, it took me hours in that day to learn how to do that. It's called masking or follow. I don't know what it is, but you have to draw a little map of where you want the thing to go. And yeah, it was. We were crying, kids. You can have a good time with
They've
things
had a
like
lot of
that.
fun.
Well, listen, when you work in a situation with somebody for a very long time, and whether it's months or whatever it is, that's time that you're not going to get back, and so on and so forth. But you bite the bullet and you go on. But if the person starts saying, well, take me out of that video, well, you're getting the fucking dog in the bag. That's what happens.
And he did. Be careful what you wish for. Oh man.
I want my image
He was
out of that
the
video.
He was out of the video.
You got it, handsome. And we just had Chris overdub his parts, which was, but
that worked out.
that worked out pretty good for everybody.
Yes, it did.
Oh, that was awesome.
All right, well, listen, on that happy note, bro, I'm gonna let you hit the dusty trail.
Yeah.
But it is free for all Friday tomorrow, so you want to make
Come
it
on
3 in a
in.
row. Come on back.
They're gonna be so sick of me.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think they're getting used to you, Park.
Yeah.
I think they're getting used to you.
I love it. I love it. I love you guys, and
Hey, we love you
Love
too,
you
Keith,
too.
man.
and,
All
and,
good.
we're gonna talk later, I'm sure.
You know we are. I'll just call you our own show. All right, dude. I'll talk to you later.
We'll
See
talk
you.
later, guys. Thank you.
See ya. Thanks, bud.
Bye.
Oh, God. Funny. Well, this is crashing. That's good. Simple as that, kids. Simple
Yeah.
as that, kids.
All right,
So
Keith Crane, the
Man.
multi-talented Keith Crane.
Multi-talented. Guy's got an ear he's got two, actually.
Oh, Michael said this show flew by. Good
Man,
one.
no kidding, huh? And I'm telling you, it's every day between me and him. We're brainstorming new things. We're coming up. I came up with some really cool additions for the Roy Orbison, the live documentary, and it just keeps getting to be more fun and more fun. So on that happy note, kids,
Tomorrow night, Free for All Friday.
and if I don't see you in the future, I'll see you in the pasture.
Good night, everybody.
Take care, kids. Music, please.
Gail missed the music. I don't hear any music.